Burt Markham loved to write. After the war, he wanted to make journalism his life's work. While at college, he was in the Society for Professional Journalists and worked as a writer for a local newspaper. He could have stayed at home and written about the war, but he wanted to serve. Burt Austin Markham was born on April 5, 1889, and grew up in the southern Minnesota farming town of Alma City. Burt was an accomplished musician, playing both the clarinet and violin. He graduated from Janesville High School in 1906 and went on to complete 2 years at a local agricultural school. Burt moved to Minneapolis and worked as a stenographer for a few years before enrolling at the University of Minnesota, where he played violin in the symphony orchestra. After the United States entered World War I, Burt joined the 2nd Minnesota Field Artillery Regiment. When the unit was disbanded in April 1918, Burt immediately enlisted in the Marine Corps. He completed basic training at Parris Island, South Carolina in July, and on August 17, 1918, he was aboard the USS von Steuben, heading for France. Private Markham joined his unit, the 80th Company of the 2nd Battalion, 6th Marine Regiment, on September 11, 1918. The St. Mael offensive began on the morning of September 12th, in the pouring rain and mud. In support of the main element, his unit saw only sporadic action in the first 3 days of the offensive. On September 15th, 2nd Battalion, 6th Marines took the lead and were tasked with pushing the remaining Germans out of a small forest to their front. At 5 a.m., Markham's 80th Company led the battalion across a small river into a draw between two hills. Unknown to the Marines, a German company occupied each hilltop. When Private Markham and his company entered an open field before the wood, the machine guns opened up. In the chaos, the Marines were able to form up and fight their way to the high ground, dislodging the Germans from the hills. During the fight, Burt was severely injured from multiple gunshot wounds, traumatically amputating his arm and shattering his femur. Private Burt Markham died the next day, September 16, 1918. He was at the front for only 4 days before he was killed. After his death, an obituary in the local paper back home said that his story will ever be an inspiration in the hearts of his people. A good writer uses their words to tell stories that people will remember. Burt's story is told in deeds rather than words. His combat story is short, but the life he lived and the sacrifice he made should be remembered forever. Thank you, Burt, for your courage and sacrifice. My words are an inadequate tribute to your service, but I stand here today, almost 100 years since your death, as a testament and a promise that your story will live on in the hearts of our people. Semper Fidelis, Marine.